Ulonga tabati yada tó yẹ kó máa da ifá. Inú tó yẹ kó jẹun ló fi bí pa. Ọba tálá, ọba takuntakun. Shango, Èṣù, Ògún, Ọya, Oshun. Kí ni ṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o? Ó jẹ́ lọ jára rẹ̀.
Alafia, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I am your host, Orisha Gbemi, and once again, we are joined by our honored, distinguished community elder, none other than the Ojise.
Okay, how's everyone? Okay, how are you, Baba Orisha Gbemi?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I feel like you was the last time we was on live. Just got dinged up with a bunch of stuff out of the blue, just came out of nowhere right before we were getting ready to log in. Man, all day long, I could have handled, I could have got these calls and had this stuff done. Yeah. And they called right before. But anywho, we here, family. So I appreciate y'all for bearing with us, for the couple of minutes of running behind. A couple calls that came in that I had to take. Unfortunately, the timing was the worst that it could have been, but we knocked it out. We got it done, and now we're here. We're here now, so we're ready to make it do what it do. Oh. Yes, sir. John, Agboato, and Kosi, Alafia Ni, Pacific Dagwood. We got the tribe in here with us already early, ready to get this thing cracking, get this thing started. So with that, bye-bye. Really good feedback the last few days, man. The lives is definitely, I feel like they're gaining traction. We're seeing a lot of people coming through, new faces, new names, new tribe members. And I think some people just stopping through to see what it's about, what the Ashe, Ojises be talking about in these Ashe streets. So I think most of it, for the most part, is going along with the wisdom that you're dropping by the mic drops and doing what you do, man. And so I'm excited for today's show. I'm excited to see where this goes. And once again, to the tribe, I definitely appreciate all of y'all. Appreciate the love, the support, the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, joining the channel, joining the private community, everything. We appreciate it, all of it. And for our tribe that we met up with this weekend for the first trainer course, we appreciate all of y'all for stopping through and making it do what it do and us getting that first one knocked down. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see, what the future unfolds for us, Baba. How about yourself?
I can hardly sleep at night, brother.
Look, I already know.
Come on, okay. It's life. Yeah. Every step I take, it's all about IFA. It's all about it, and it's myriad of forms and colors and tastes and sights and sounds, and how I relate to myself and how I relate to the world. Okay. I come from this center, this core, and it's ever increasing. It's ever increasing, and it's ever strengthening. And I am so elated to be able to share this with the younger generation, with the up and coming generation, with the generations after the generations. So I live for this. And when the last day comes and I'm in the night, the wisdom will be there. The experiences will be there. All I ask is that people look inward to see the sky. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. That's how I be, And I'm more than elated, that people are tuning in and tuning up, and we're starting to live more spiritually free than we probably ever imagined that we could be, based on the knowledge that's been accumulated, the understandings that have been reached, the epiphanies, the revelations, and the wisdom that is blossoming from within. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Aside from the madness of the misperceptions of who we are and the misrepresentations and the reducing of we, there is an uprising, and that uprising is here. That uprising is now. And we give homage to our ancestors for bringing forth IFA ISESE so that we can have it, no matter the historical consequences, no matter the way of the world, no matter. We carry the being of our ancestral glory. into that.
And I say, Asheo. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Baba. That was a very warm, sincere. Sincere was a big topic on the last episode, but that was very warm, sincere entrance into the conversation, and I definitely appreciate it, man. And we see it, we feel it, we hear it, and we're experiencing it on so many different levels, including myself. I got some things I would love to share over the last few days, just since the last one we did, I think like 2 days ago. That's kind of a new development and just confirming everything that you literally just laid out for us. I've had my own little personal confirmations from spirit, so I definitely can attest to that, and I concur. And yeah, man, I'm ready to make this thing do what it do. Bye. So today, very, very powerful topic, man. Very powerful topic. Fate, destiny, and deities. That's deep. Real heavy, real heavy, real heavy. So where you want to take your Ogun shovel, man, and start digging in the kind of with them powerful topics you picked today?
Yeah, and within the whole library of infinite books that are being written for me to read, and then find some substantiation through the external study, the exoteric, but it comes from within. It's like you get to kind of know something, and then it's like, oh, I have to validate it, verify it, substantiate it, in order to make concrete sense out of it, so it becomes a stair step, if you will, a stair step to deeper understanding and ways to articulate what one has come to embrace as a reality, not just something we just talking hypothetically and this and that. And, it's like, no, these are actual statements that have been made over countless years. As I stated in one of our earlier podcasts, that although this Gregorian calendar may be 2024, the dates of our West African ancestry and lineage is approximately 10,064. And just like there was life before AD, Anno Domini, everywhere else on the planet, there was life before AD and the invasion of our West African territories by the Western Europeans, more specifically. Great attempts were made prior to that with the jihads during the 700s or so, 7th, 8th century. So, we've continued to be a part of the global upheavals. We are a part of the human struggle with the primal, with the armies and the wars, and on the other side of the coin, with the peacemakers and those who are finding some sense of continuation in spite of genocidal practices, in spite of holocausts and ma'afas, and in spite of the self-destructive nature of humankind. And this becomes a deep question. When we start working with belief systems, we seem to put things in the beginning and one thing, and then we have the apocalyptic at the end. God's going to come down, the dead going to be raised. Christianity, although holding sway over us, whether we have been immersed in it or not, in terms of being churchgoers, but we've been immersed in it in terms of the overall cultural statement, the core of the culture of the Western Europeans. So we can't just blindly walk around, oh, it doesn't exist. Well, yeah, it exists. Okay. Now, as we strive through IFA and Isese to make sense of what others have made sense of in their corners of the universe, we start to see that in some sense there's a correlation, and in some senses it's like, nah, no, we cannot embrace that. Whatever it is y'all doing over there, y'all go ahead. But we need to have the space to do what we need to do. And one of those, what we need to do in terms of our our contextual building is have our stacks. What is the beginning all about? And then what is life is all about? Then what is death? Then what is death all about? Now, one of the most beautiful things that I found interesting about getting into IFA, as opposed to dealing with the toxicity of indoctrination, is that I didn't find any apocalyptic end. Nowhere in the Odu did it state that at a certain point God is going to come down, Olodumare is going to come down and wipe out humanity, and then that would be it. I'm like, wow, isn't that refreshing? You know, to live without this ultimate fear of the end, and then being manipulated by that fear, and then have that fear trickle down to every little thing that you do, and hence the origin of the sinful. You understand? And we're all born into sin. I'm like, no, we're not. You might believe that over there on your planet some daggone where,
So
but
that's
those rules do not apply.
speak on your own behalf. Don't speak for me.
Beat that foolishness into everybody's head.
Right.
We got folks really believing it, but we aren't born with that belief.
No.
We are indoctrinated, you
Yeah.
know, and it's ingrained to the point where it becomes a submission, and the fear of rebelling against that submission goes very deep inside of our own psyche. And this is where the seed is, deep within our psyche. And for many who I call the regurgitators, okay, and then that's not a negative statement, it's just an observation. You understand? We just kind of parrot. We just do. We don't think deeply, which is the esoteric directive, which is the IFA directive. It's IFA Iseshe. Now, the core of that seed, to my current understanding, is fate, destiny, and the deities. Fate, I'll address first. Fate is Ipin, Ipin, where the Iwore or Adura to Orunmila. Orunmila, Ile Ipin, Ibikeji Olodumare. Orunmila, loosely translated into English, Orunmila, witness of fate, second only to Olodumare. Orunmila, Ile Ipin, Ibikeji Olodumare. Right? And so I started to ponder this word fate, and I still ponder it, because you have to remember, Ifa is not only a religious construct, a spiritual construct, a cultural historical construct, a medicinal construct, a mathematical construct, a whole binary system. Okay, Ifa is all of that, but so infinitely more than that.
I sure.
So we can have philosophers inside of Ifa, in the same way we can have prophets inside of Ifa. You understand? So Ifa is not relegated to, you know, a single stratum, if you will, of belief, and then how that belief needs to be ritualized, and then the rituals become concrete ways of regurgitating over and over and over again the same practice, the same thought, the same modes of behavior, okay, until it becomes what we know as religion, okay, and then that's when the box is built, the nail to the last part of the construction has been hammered in. Now it's a religion, and anybody who's outside of this box, you know, we're going to have to deal with, because we need to pour everybody in this box, and that's so unfortunate. Okay. At any rate, part of the self-destructive, I'll get into that a little later, or during class. But at any rate, we have this word fate, and we have to think of now here is an Iwore, here's a prayer describing an entity coming through an actual person. Orunmila was an actual person, stating that you're the witness of fate.
Mm.
You are second to Olodumare. And we're talking about 1 to 2,000 years ago. The same time the Greeks had their Socrates, and the Western culture was still kind of snatching as much as it could from ancient Kemet. So
Mm-hmm.
all of these things were going on in a global reality. It wasn't one thing over there and another thing way over there. No, everything was like today. One thing
Led to another.
yes, sir. Like the whole domino thing, and one thing leads to another. But if it's interesting to note in terms of the word fate,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that the ancient Kemetans had a natir of fate.
Mm.
Okay. And
Anubis?
not a fate. His name was Shaj.
Mm.
Shag. And Shaj was connected to the diviners because it was all about fate. Now, when the Greeks became more so Christianized and was spreading it back into their version of it, because we all know the whole Trinity thing with the Commetans, who much different than with the early Christians. Okay, the bringing forth of the Biblios, the snake as a symbol of Shag, okay, became the symbol of evil. Now, when we start looking at that from the ostracizing and the split that was taking place as the Christian world was gaining strength over the Commetans and over various other major nations, that all of the emblems that dealt with fate became demonized. Even in terms of the Greek mythology, the three sisters of fate, now they became witches. You understand what I'm saying? And they only have one eye, and they passing the one eye around. The whole Christian thing just went all out to dismantle what fate had to do with the impact on people's psyche deep within. So if we have a term like EP, fate, nowadays, currently, fast forward, fate generally takes on a negative connotation. It was by fate that I found my loneliness. It is by the hands of fate that I've lost all that I've gained. By fate, I no longer walk in harmony with the world. See, by fate. So the fates have a negative, whereas when we're dealing with Ifa and Isese, to be the witness of fate from where I'm connotating the word minus the Greco-Roman and the whole Latin and current definition. I'm looking at fate as possibilities.
Mm.
Okay. What are the possibilities? So if Orunmila therefore is the witness of fate, Orunmila is therefore the witness of the infinite possibilities that a human being has.
Mm.
And this is where the line between capacity and capability is drawn.
Mm.
Okay. Because we can limit ourselves by what I can do and what I can't do,
Mm.
what I'm capable of and what I'm incapable of. But what Orunmila is saying, by the witness of the endless possibilities, is that you can override your limited capabilities because you have a greater capacity. You just have to learn how to put it into motion. You just have to recognize it and let it happen. Fear not. Release the constrictions and the constraints. Release the chains. unshackle even from the wheel of karma, as my Dravidian ancestors would say, right? And then you will come to realize that your capacity is greater than your capabilities and your incapabilities. And the next thing you know, because you have fulfilled that understanding, you can now be more than what you ever dreamed yourself to be, because your capacity was always there by fate.
Ashe.
Okay.
Powerful.
So before I get into a Yanmo, and then any comments, questions?
Lots of comments. No, I don't see any questions yet. I think everybody's just soaking it all in.
So good.
Yeah, tribe soaking it all in. And if y'all do, any of the tribe that's in with us, if anybody got anything they want to toss in there real quick while we got this quick transition, we definitely be happy to answer them. I do have a question, Baba, because I was soaking it all in and just letting it marinate within my head. Let me ask you this: Do you believe? Because I feel like I know why the Christianity sect of religion and spirituality is, kind of like constructed the way it is. I know what the purpose of it was. I know what, it was instilled for, and all that. But I want to ask you this because I wonder about this part. Do you feel like us as a people, us as a culture, melanated beings, prior to the raiding of and colonization attempts by the people who pulled off that pillage of the planet, do you think that we were dealing with some sort of isolation amongst ourselves in regards to spirituality and to our religious constructs prior to being invaded and ripped away and raped and pillaged by the
Well, when you say isolation, brother, what is it that you mean?
So, for example, like, okay, I know now that the Islamic population is very prominent in Nigeria, right? So, prior to any other outside cultures coming in that were coming in for the purposes of enslavement, do you believe that us amongst ourselves had those same sort of disagreements about what religious or what spiritual practices that we took on? And do you think that might have something to do with us kind of feuding amongst ourselves to give them, the outsiders, the opportunity to penetrate our space and then kind of do what they did?
All right. The answer is yes and no. All right, and I'll explain myself. Okay. One is that, as everywhere else on the planet, you would have individuals who had revelations, epiphanies, sages, monks, shamans. Okay. People who were either born with the gift or developed it based on their environment or even the pain that they suffered, because the mind was now taken to various degrees, okay, beyond the norm. A lot of the prophets, even biblically, didn't eat the same way as the masses. They were eating locusts, and lotus and locusts and all kinds of hallucinogenics, and you know what I mean. And they just and then if we take it from the Asian perspective, a Buddha was fasting all the time down to the point where he was basically skin and bone. So yeah, now did everybody get with that at any given point? The answer is no, they did not. And we find through the study of the various cycles of Ile Ife's development, to include the times before Orunmila came on the scene. Comparatively speaking, there were religions in the area before Muhammad came on the scene. There were religions in the area before Jesus came on the scene. There were religions in the area before Buddha came on the scene. So yes, there were religions in the area and faith factors in the area before Orunmila came on the scene. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you the name of the faith factors that were intact before Orunmila came on the scene approximately 1,000, 2,000 years ago. And that is Ikedu, Ikedu. So everything was in motion on the whole planet. So it wasn't about so much isolation and discord as it was in terms of weaponry that brought about it, because even the Europeans were fighting amongst each other in terms
Yeah.
of, how Christian are you, how Christian aren't you.
Right.
We mentioned the Inquisition. Okay, that was spread, via Catholicism. They were brutal, man. There was just no, and folks became Protestants in order to get from under that because
Mm.
these folks were insane. So my point is, yes, but was that what led to the disrupt, the defeat of, of the West African geopolitical kingdoms? In part, yes, just like everywhere else. But in part, no, because we were still unified enough to fight back and to hold on, obviously, to what our faith factor was, or we wouldn't be having this conversation right here, right now.
I sure.
It would have been gone, like somebody who speaks, an elder who speaks the last language. You know what I mean? Once
Oh, yeah.
they pass on,
Yeah.
the language is gone.
That's it.
But that's not what happened. So, divided as we may have been, we were no more divided than anybody else on the planet. Because then what would we say about the indigenous Olmecs and Aztecs and Incas who were defeated by the, you,
Yeah. You
but
want
it wasn't the fact that we were like everybody else, evolving and having different schools of thought, as it was the diseases that the Europeans brought. It was diseases more than bullets that wiped out most of the Mesoamericans,
yeah.
to include venereal diseases. You see, our immune system just weren't used to all that they were bringing. Smallpox, typhoid, all that kind of stuff. Yo, what is this? Well, these people are demons, man. Imagine what it must have been like to contact, one of these diseases, and then the brutality heaped upon it. So it wasn't, you know, so much that there was disunity amongst the melanated people. It was weaponry, barbarity, and diseases
Mm.
that brought about our ultimate downfall.
And being too trusting with that smile in your face, stab you in the back type of.
Well, let me say something about that, because
Mhm.
I come to find out that that wasn't all true either.
Mm.
That's the propaganda. That's what was projected.
Yeah.
You never, hardly ever see where, again, where we massed together and fought back.
Mm.
But
Of course not.
yeah, of course not, because
Look,
that's counter oppression.
well, and that's why I was in my 30s before I ever heard of anything about 1804 or the Haitian
See?
Revolution. You know what I
See?
mean? Like that. If we're going to teach history, we're going to talk about history. Why was that blank field in the in the syllabus in the
Yeah,
curriculum?
yeah,
Yeah.
but you have plenty of pictures of, oh well, they're trading beads, or oh well, you know what I mean. The one picture that I hate the most is they got the Oyembo priest, and he's
Mm.
sitting there, and they got little African kids, and the whole paternal role, you know
Mm.
what I mean? And look, he's taking care of the poor natives and all that kind of stuff. But nah, you wasn't seeing the revolts that were happening, and the way that the people were trying to get from up under these. I don't know what to call them, but they were like parasitic, man. So here we go. Yes, here we go. In spite of all of that, here we are. So let's hold on to what wasn't broken to
Yeah.
the point of dust, you know? Let's hold on to what unified us. Because if they keep pushing how divided you were, then of course we're going to continue to be divided.
Yeah.
But if we keep pushing how unified we were, you see the flip?
Yeah.
Then,
You're here now. You're
and
here now.
we're going to work on the unification principle.
Yes, sir.
Now we understand that there was some division, but that wasn't the cause of our downfall. Okay.
That's gonna be in any society where it's more than, if it's more than two people, you know what I mean? There's always be some sort of side, some sort of favoritism, some sort of clique. Man, like no matter, so that just, I don't care what color, what race, what create. That you got more than two people, boys. It's some ish gonna be going down one way or another. That just, it's human nature. We got some questions too, Bob. Whenever you're ready, we got a couple out there for you as well.
Even if you have one person in the room, they won't start.
Yeah, look. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad you said that, because it's several different voices that be going on all the time inside of this head and the Oreo mind, and some of them are just, I can't even let them out near the public, boy. Some of them
they don't know how to act.
Yeah, they don't even like some of them mother lovers, man. I'm telling you, so it's like, I damn sure know nobody else want to deal with them.
But see, this is the beauty of the conversation that we have. You see, we're putting ourselves back into the human experience, whereas in countless centuries have been put into the motion of the time and the effort and the insane amount of energy it took to dehumanize us, to take us out of the humanity, to take us out of the being of being. And now generations after the Ma'afa, hard won, 2 steps back, 1 step forward kind of struggle. But we can talk now openly about the unification of we as a people, and the deepness of having an entity replanted within our minds, that entity being Orunmila, that says, because I witness your fate and all of the possibilities that could happen to any creature on this planet, I'm sharing with you that you have an endless possibility of ways to advance yourself, to enhance yourself, to be more than the constrictions imposed upon you. That is why Orunmila Ifa is the witness of fate in that container that I'm speaking of. Because as stated prior, Ifa is so much more. Okay?
Yeah.
There were some questions, brother?
Yeah, it's really difficult to quantify it if you want, for real, because it's so vast. It's like talking about the creator. But yeah, one of the questions was, I'm just gonna find it real quick. Here it is. So new member to the tribe. Shout out to Creative Minds. Appreciate you for joining us, family. Appreciate you coming through. I think they've been here a couple times. I remember seeing them at least one more time prior to this call, if not more. But anywho, real good question, especially for those who are new and those who are reaching new audiences. I feel like we're crossing over to different algorithms with these live streams. So it's like we got our set tribe, and then we got new tribe with new people who come in and just breeze through and see what it's about. So I think that's a phenomenal question, Baba. What do you think for Creative Minds? What does IFA?
Well, you want to go with it, man?
I'm gonna let.
All right, gonna let me go.
Look, I'll let you go. I'll let you go with that one, because that's you can go a long ways with it.
All right, but I'm going to break it down. All right, Creative Minds. It's a topic that has been going on for about 10,000 years. Okay, but Ifa is that philosophical, that religious expansion, if you will. Now, mind you, I'm breaking it down, everyone. Okay, that is born of the West African experience, the Oyo empires, the Benin empires, all of the empires before, let's just say, a lot of the Songhai, Ghana, and Mali, the ones that everybody seems to push, Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. And it's especially because they got a little bit more of the Islamic flavor, the more, the Moorish had come down and taken over those lands. But further south, when we're talking about what's now called the Cameroon, or what's now called Nigeria, or what's now called Benin, which was once called Dahomey, let's just take those regions and say, well, what were the people doing there in terms of their spirituality, in terms of their belief systems, with their prophets and their divinities, and what was their system of maintaining their culture based on their faith. Okay. And it was called Ifa. And based on the Ma'afa, the enslavement and trafficking of our people throughout what we now know call the diaspora, that unified core of us remained in spite of the brutality heaped upon us. The core of Ifa remains. That's how strong it was. That's how strong it is. Now it took on various forms, okay? But at the core, at the root, it is what it is. It is Ifa. Now, Isese back in the day was called ATRs, African Traditional Religions. People were into the Ghanaian, people were into what we would call the Yoruba, okay? The terms changed a bit. It was called Orisha, and then a little later on, as now, the term is more Isheshe. But going back again, like to the 70s, 80s, 90s, and all of that, even some of us back in the 60s, you know, Ocha was named because coming out of the Afro-Cuban, because remember the Afro-Cubans brought a lot of that over once Fidel Castro took over Cuba back in the 50s and basically told him, y'all got to go. If you know, with this capitalist mentality and holding on to this Catholicism. So yeah, Castro was a child of Ogun. Okay, so that, but those who did come over, they were still flavored with the Orisha via Santeria and Lukumi. We who have kind of stepped away from the synchronism of Catholicism embedded into the Yoruba, at least from where I'm sitting, this is more so called Isheshe. Got Santeria, you got Lukumi, you have Voodoo, and now Isheshe. Some schools of thought might say Isheshe encompasses Santeria, Lukumi, and Voodoo. I'm not here to argue. Okay. Matter of fact, no two whatevers are the same. So hopefully that answers your question. And you're welcome to study. There are quite a number of books out there, but I would suggest the ones that I've written. I don't know.
Hey, yes, sir.
Yeah, we got the Handbook of Yoruba Religious Concepts. We have Ojise.
Folio, man.
Yeah, and we have a few, and maybe we'll put the link up
Oh yeah.
so some of the new people can visit the site and order the books and start reading. And start gaining, an accumulation of knowledge, kind of directive, and of course continue with the podcast. There are classes going on a continual basis. So we're here for the people. All right. Any other questions, my brother?
Yep, and I'll dive on this one if you don't mind, dear sir. For Self-Made, appreciate your family. I think Self-Made is new to the channel as well, so we definitely appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you're liking and this Ashe is resonating with you, very high level and frequency. But yeah, to answer your question, is it the same spiritual system as the ancient Kemites or Egyptians? Not necessarily the same, but they're connected by far. They're very connected. So whereas in Kemet, and when you look at the deities and the Netchers, the Netcheru, they are the deities and the gods and goddesses who are symbolized by the forces of nature. That hence Netcheru. You know what I mean? So the same thing kind of correlates with the Orisha. So the Orisha, same exact similarity. I would say same framework, just a little different variance, a little different variation between the two. But for the most part, all of our spiritual systems are connected throughout the entire globe. It's just a matter of which part of the continent that our ancestral tribes came from. I think that would differentiate what spiritual system may be indigenous to our progenitors who were our eldest of ancestors from time immemorial. It's kind of like the best way I would describe that, Baba. What about you, Baba?
Oh, I would applaud that. Okay, that was just right on. Okay, it is the same. It's just like read.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
It's just different shades of the one thinking, different environments, different languages, different cultures, but at the core, the very same. And you have some scholars who have made direct correlations between the ancient Kemetan and the IFA system. The only things that change are the people and the names, but the way of it is the same. Where you have divinities, you have prophet figures, okay? You have a deep understanding of, as Baba Orisha Gbemi stated, the forces, the elements of nature, and how those forces interact with the human being. So in that way, they are the same. There's, again, some scholars are making language connections. Some scholars are making, again, philosophical connections in terms of what are people thinking about in terms of life. Philosophy, the study of. So here we have an extension. But, it's the same. Is the Christianity of the ancients back in the Roman days, okay, when Christianity was flowering, back in the Roman days, over there in Rome, okay, the same as the Christianity that's now in England. You understand what I'm saying? They are clearly different, but they are clearly the same. So we can apply that in terms of an analogy. All right.
I got one too. Like, and it's funny because the spirit just hit me on this one. And mind you, we were just talking about this, I think, last night, if I'm not mistaken. But what's the difference between the ocean and a raindrop?
See?
No difference. It's just a matter of the raindrop is isolated by itself, and when it hits the ocean, it's with the rest of the water. So it's like no different than us with spirit and air. You know what I mean? With spirit and air and the creator, in the beginning was you know what I mean? Like we can go all the way into that on a whole deep metaphysical level, but it's like there have been systems and there have been devices and tactics that have been put in place to make us all feel separate, to make us all feel isolated, to make us all feel individual, but we're all tribal people, no matter what color, race, creed, or none of that really matters at the end of the day, because there's only one race, and that's the human race. So at the end of the day, it's like there are other entities and other energies at play that's creating, this divide and conquer. It's the 1% that wants to control and manipulate and dominate the 99%. Yeah. But with that, there's a lot of shifting going on, family. And I don't know, and this is something I'm gonna go real heavy with in the next few, coming up in the near future with, because it's something that I have a ton of receipts and research with, and I got a lot of stuff that I have complete possession of in regards to the extraterrestrial aspects in regards to what we're seeing and dealing with on this planet right now. I don't know if any of y'all, I don't watch the news at all, but sometimes I see things if it's going crazy on social media or people bring it to my attention, or if I see it on YouTube, because that's pretty much on the platform I've been on lately. But I don't know if y'all have seen all these different press conferences coming from, I guess it's the Pentagon or the White House or wherever, but it's all these different press conferences coming out now where they're admitting to seeing, or that there are extraterrestrial beings and there are extraterrestrial, different types of and things of that nature. But I think it's kind of funny that now all of a sudden, where the planet is at this place in time, you'll start to see these documentaries, Ancient Aliens on Netflix, or, there's so many different, I feel like documentaries, movies, shows, etc., that's coming on. And Mr. Brown, you're spot on too, extraterrestrial as well. That they're talking about this, but when I was studying it, as a baby, they was murdering my teachers, like literally. You know what I'm saying? Like they were either killing them, locking them up, or they was putting them away or harming them in some way, shape, form, or fashion because they were telling the truth. And the so-called powers that be didn't like that. So now, because with all the technology, with all the people with smartphones, everybody has access to take pictures and capture video footage, etc. I feel like the cap is blowing off to where they can't keep control over the information, or I should say the truth. So now, it's coming out to where they're owning it, admitting it, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like that's another whole nother paradigm that we got to kind of be very conscientious of, because with the technology that's out there, there's ways to manipulate us to see things that aren't necessarily extraterrestrial or interterrestrial, et cetera. But there is a lot of that activity going on as well. And I think for a lot of us, especially people who are tapped into this channel, I think we all could agree there's a major shift in consciousness, elevating. The frequency of energy is elevating at a very, very rate. And so I think what's happening now is we see the planet herself is starting to elevate with the vibrational frequency, along with spirit and along with a lot of other, I would say, powers that be at play, in the process of all this taking place. But there's definitely a lot going on right now, family. I feel like what's most at stake is our time and our attention is what matters the most. You know what I mean? So we got to be very intentional with how we win that time. And sorry, Baba, that was on my spirit. Just had to drop it.
Yeah. Well, want to drop it, man.
Yeah, no, that's all I got, because I don't want to get me going in a tizzy there, boy. I get into that. That's I'm really into. I had the telescope out the other night, man, looking up at the stars.
You don't need to let it burn in your hand, man. Go on and drop it.
Nah, man, look, I want to bring it back to Earth, because we still got to get into fate, destiny, and deities. So I don't want to.
It didn't leave. It didn't leave.
I got you.
Okay. All right. You see the whole thing about why, and we'll get to green soap. We'll get to you in a second. I'll leave it up, but I'm going to bring the statement of division from realities. Division from a connection to the various possibilities of realities. And Baba Orisha Gbemi, this is where I'm riding your spirit on that, okay? Because the possibilities of so many realities is actual. It's actual. It's not vanity. It's not fantasy. It's not science fiction. It's science. We got a glimpse of, and pretty soon it's going to hit. So but we can keep the people separate from knowing of, not accepting the reality of on a conscious level, not on an imaginary level. You know what I mean? Oh, that's just play. No, that's nothing. Yes, the interterrestrial as well. All right, that don't connect with that. Don't be serious about that. Don't investigate that. Don't believe anything about that. That's a way of keeping us where they want us to be. Now, let's connect that with fate, and how when the Abrahamics were coming along, Judeo-Christian Islam, and in spite of their differences, they're all cousins. They're all rooted in Abrahamic. You understand what I'm saying? All basically, but they have decided that the best way to propagate, the best way to amass, the best way to control, right up to global, if not beyond, is to disconnect people from the psyche of fate. And remember, fate is possibilities.
That's deep, Baba. Look, can you look? Gotta hit the rewind button. Can you run that back for the people in the back? Because that's
can
deep.
Not be the greatest of possibilities. You cannot imagine anything other than we have set for you to imagine. You cannot witness your own fate, hence your own possibilities, how to grow into those possibilities, and how to make growth happen as a result of those possibilities. We're going to make fate shock the natir of fate. We're going to turn that symbol, which is a snake, into something evil. We're going to turn it into something that has to take the blame for the downfall of humanity. It's only a story, people, only a story. Allegorical propaganda And I'm not saying this from, you know, the whole black thing. No, it's the whole way that people, you know, use literature as an oppressive tool as opposed to a liberating tool. So now every time somebody see the snake, what do you think of? Oh, the Garden of Eden, the snake with the talking. No, that snake was foretelling. And I can even, in my mind, journey too, since we're going to go, you know, extraterrestrial and interterrestrial, why God kicked Satan out of heaven. Because Satan had the goods on him. You know what I mean? Satan was trying to tell him, it's like, yo, this guy over here, he ain't wrapped too tight. I was like, oh, we're gonna kick your ass out of here, and we're going to make you, we're going to talk bad about you till everybody believe that you the one that was wrong. And everybody say, I don't remember the devil drowning thousands in the whole world. I don't remember the devil talking about he's gonna come and wipe out all of humanity. You know, so God may not be what everybody has been indoctrinated, and Satan may be somebody who was like that snake that he was come to represent. Somebody is like, you know what? You need to have knowledge. You need to have knowledge. So here, take it.
Oh, you about to cook some cornflakes tonight, buddy.
You need to have knowledge.
Yes, sir.
What would be so wrong with you having knowledge as opposed to just blindly doing whatever some controlling factor tells you that you have to do? Okay. We aren't working up to our possibilities because we are fearing fate. And fate not be the thing that we need to fear. Okay?
Big Fox.
Somebody had something on right before this. Was it green?
Yeah. Let me go back to it. I was just trying to get everybody else's up there.
Soap, I believe. I
was gonna go back. I had put a star on it too to make sure I reminded myself. But I just wanted to get everybody else's comments in while we're elaborating on the last point. But yeah, appreciate you, Green Soap. First of all, appreciate you coming through. You know, welcome to the Ashe tribe, and we give thanks. And with that, Baba, the question is, with why so many different, ATRs, and why do some of the people who are in the ATRs they're using tarot cards for like divination?
Now, I've been down this road, not one who reads, but there were times when I was a reader / diviner in various places where there were other people, like in another booth or another part of the a department store, for lack of a better word, flea market, I should say. All right, where people had various means of divining or reading, tarot cards, regular playing cards, crystal balls,
glass of water.
It's just right. Scrying, a glass of water.
Pennies, coins, more coins. Right. Depending on what system they were taught and how far they can go with it. How strong is your intuition?
Palms.
Yeah.
You see?
Even psychometry. Some people so powerful they could feel somebody's clothes or feel somebody's jewelry or something that they wore. And they psychometry, they can like literally tune in, tap me. That right there goes to just reiterate the point that what we're trying to get at is we are gods having a human experience. Period. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are the children of God, the co-creator with, the creator, and we're having a human experience. So it's like, there's nothing really that we can't do. It's a matter of what do they say? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, whichever way it go. But it's a matter about which one do you have the conviction with.
Yeah. And in conjunction with that, what came to understand is that, most of them were good. And then I started to kind of look into the origin of the tarot cards. Okay. And then that kind of leads us to the gypsies. Now, the word gypsies, if you listen very closely, what are you going to hear? Egyptians. Okay. So these were migrating folks coming from the Southern Europeans, which the gringos, the Northern Europeans, they wasn't really down with them. First of all, they were a little bit more melanated. They had more of an interaction for a longer period of time with the African people. And now, as a result of the immigration, if you will, they were the immigrants in the European scene. And now they took on the name of gypsies, Egyptians.
Yep.
And the Egyptians had their symbolics on their cards. The gypsies borrowed it, made it, what they wanted to make it, and then started to spread throughout Europe. Now, as Baba Orisha Gbemi said, that there are people with capabilities, whether they're ATRs or Christians or Muslims, or Buddhists, or wherever you go. The Chinese have the yarrow sticks, and they're Buddhists. But the whole thing is, no matter what you are, your gift is going to find its way through that. Okay. So what more important, in a sense, whether you're ATR or you're a helpful tarot card reader? The images that you use, of course, we of Isese would like to see, our divinities.
Yeah.
And I've assisted some people who had that question in creating Orisha tarot cards. The tarot cards. Why would I say, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing tarot cards? You should be using the shell. No, your
gift is your gift. You know what I mean?
Right. But they didn't like the well, as everything else is becoming less and less pigmented and less melanated.
Yep.
We were trying to put the brakes on that and say we want our tarot cards to look like us. So if you're in Isese, you want to change the face of those cards without changing the connection to the cards. I don't see why you can't do it. It's fate.
Listen.
Just like everybody else changed it, you can change it too.
Listen, that man, every time I hear the word fate, and for y'all to try about that seen it, I know they probably would agree, but every time I see or hear the word fate, I think about the movie Law Abiding Citizen, when my boy said you can't fight fate. And then I don't know, did you see that movie, Baba?
A long time ago, man.
Powerful movie. Oh man, that's another story I have to share with you off the air. Why I love that movie so much. But I want to share with you now what I was referring to before we came on live on air, because of the direction of the conversation went. I was gonna wait till we got to the deities part, but we are talking about deities already. So, so earlier today, and mind you, now for those that's on the call, I'm pretty sure we got some that been with us, rocking with us from the beginning, which wasn't that long ago. I think like 7 months ago. But those who have been with us for that time frame can recall on multiple of our podcasts where we're recording that we see a flash of lightning, or you might hear the thunder, booming in the background, you know what I mean, from the storms that we've had. And for me, I feel like some of it was, energy related as well. So Baba, today, right, I found a new home for Kabiesi Obakoso. Shango had been speaking to me, and he wanted a new crib, a new home of sorts. So I did what I had to do, and I did it. Right, I got it for him. So today I was, moving things around on my shrine and setting up, how I was going to place him in his new home. And I promise you, I BS you not. The time I finished setting everything up, I took him and I got ready to set him down. The lights in the house flickered like. I'm talking about you. Man, listen, Baba, I'm sitting there like, yo. So the wife was in the kitchen. She's like, yo, what are you doing in there? I'm like, it ain't me. I said, that wasn't me. But I know what happened, but it wasn't me. But Baba, I'm telling you, like, it was like, I was blown away. Like, because that was, we've shared some intimate, experiences that we've had with, Orisha and nature and things of that nature, where it's clear and it's evident. There's no, it's indisputable. But this one was on just a whole nother level, because I'm talking about, it was shorting out as if like a storm was here, like it would during the storm season. And the power cord, it was like, and it like did it like, I'm like, yo, it was amazing. So I can't wait to talk to you and share it with you. That's why I didn't know if I was gonna do it on the show. I was gonna do it.
The people need to hear, because again, this is life. You know what I mean? We're not staging this. You know what I mean? This is not,
Play, yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or
Ain't no
reality.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. I said, what now?
Alice in Wonderland. No, I said it ain't Hansel and Gretel and Alice in Wonderland, man. This
Yeah,
is
reality TV. But see, this is the life that we live. And because we have a witness of fate, we are Babalaos. We are sons of Orunmila. Orunmila is the witness of fate. So our within our cultural framework, okay, we're not Centuria, we're not Lukumi, we're not Voodoo, we're not Candomblé. Okay, we come from there. We came from the soil right here. I'm from South Carolina to New Jersey. Okay. I've traveled the world, but that's where I was born. That's where my cultural ground is. My great grandmother, my grandma, my mother, everybody. All right.
Yeah.
Down south. Okay. Now I go from beyond down south, looking at Cameroon, Nigeria. Okay. Now I've been to these regions. I've been to Kenya, reconnected. I've also been to Europe. Okay. And I've seen us there and all of our beautiful myriads of existence. All of it. It's just something to behold. But the core of us, that was even more beautiful and also more powerful. Hence the greater need to continue to divide us and subdivide us and continue to not have us gather like this as a tribe and say, we're going to make concrete changes. We're not here talking the talk. We have products, we have classes, we have institutions that are developing, we have elders, we have initiated priests and priestesses, we have folks who've been in this for a minute. And all
Healers,
that we have
herbalists.
to do is give the life of it to you. The life of it, not the rigor. Well, how many do you know, and what you do, and all. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's a small part of it. It's a small part of it, and this lends us to the next part, which is destiny. Are we ready to go with it?
Let's go.
Just before. All
Yeah.
right.
Put some lanes in these streets out here, man. Let's get it. Yes,
So
sir.
from Orunmila, Ileri Pen. Now, for the new folks, Orunmila is the prophet figure. Okay. And there are some question out there whether he was a philosopher like Socrates. Okay. And I don't know about numerology and
No,
astrology.
Baba. I think they're saying that's what got them here today. I think
Oh, okay. Kind of led them to the next level.
yeah. Kind of led them to where we at right now, which is dope. I believe it.
Great. All right. Oh, well, when we get into the divinities and we start having numbers for the Orisha, and
Yes.
this is where Orisha Gbemi, Baba Orisha Gbemi comes in, more of the numerologist of the tag team here. But the whole thing is when we now start looking at destiny, all right? And again, people arguing whether Orunmila is a philosopher or a prophet. You know, and people arguing whether debate and destiny are the same or not. Is Orunmila a philosopher or a prophet? And again, for those of you coming in, Orunmila, in my little corner of the universe, is a prophet, but also a philosopher. Why does it have to be either or? And even as outstanding as the work of Dr. Sophia Oloye, who compares Orunmila to Socrates. Socrates, a Greek philosopher. Okay, he was Greek philosopher, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, that whole gang. They still made offerings to the Greek gods. They were still religious in terms of their gods. And the argument is, well, Orunmila was also a part of the Ikedu movement, the name that I shared with you earlier. And from the Ikedu, he philosophized and came up with the Odu and was honored for that. Now you can go back to Christ, you can go back to Muhammad, you can go to Buddha. Buddha studied Hinduism before becoming the Buddha and then bringing on Buddhism. You see? So no different. Now, is Buddha seen as a prophet? The same way that Christ is seen as a prophet, the same way that Muhammad is seen as a prophet, even people who see Moses as a prophet. So it seems like being or not being a prophet depends on the culture you're from and where are you putting your emphasis. So from where I'm sitting, from what I teach in this school of thought, Orunmila is Ile Ipin, Ibikeji Olodumare. That's the opening line. Orunmila, witness of fate, second only to Olodumare. And some people want him to be an Orisha, and some people, you know what I mean? It's like whatever y'all want to do, not doing anything different than people have been doing since the beginning, 10,000 years ago. But I'm not doing anything different either. Establishing a school of thought, which will be the foundation of the institution. I've earned the stripes to do so.
Sure.
Okay. So now we have Orunmila as interpreted, Orunmila ni Tiola. Orun is said to be loosely translated, and I don't like using this term, but for the new folks coming in, the heavens. I feel that the heavens are within. We've already discussed that the body is over 99% space. That space inwardly, the interterrestrials connect with the outer terrestrials. Okay, so here we go. Only the heavens know the way to salvation. Now connect that with fate and what is the way to salvation, recognizing the possibilities that can not only occur outside of you, some of which you have no control, but those possibilities are also inside of you, some of which you have no control. But it is possible that you gain control over them. That's the possibility. And you have a witness, like the Akashic records. There's somebody that's writing your story, you see? So we have a saving grace, but it's not because we worship it blindly without knowledge, afraid of fate. We'll not take a bite out of that apple because God ain't going to like it. No, we're breaking free of that. And then we start to kind of realize like, well, yo, wait a minute. I'm starting to feel a little, starting to feel like I got a little something up in here because I'm not humbled and submissive and fearful of the possibilities of living fully. So Orunmila brings about this possibility through Ipin. Now, when it comes to Yanmo, destiny, we have another story, and that is before one is born, the pre-destiny stage, the cosmicness of our being and the raindropping of our consciousness meets with a divinity. That divinity's name is Ajala. And that consciousness interacts with Ajala, and there comes to be an understanding about what you are destined to be. Now, I could embrace that as part of your genetic makeup, part of your sacred dust makeup, as far as right down to the very atomic structure. Because again, we are sacred dust. Every element in us is in the stars. Okay. So all of that combined and so much more becomes noted. This is your destiny. Now you're born. Now you're born. You've come through that sacred portal into the world. You're born from your sacred mother into this world, but you have a destiny that was already predetermined. And that's why you can hear people say, he was born to do that, or she was born to do that. And then we can start adding in, however those combinations happen. Nothing to say about nothing. Okay. Then we start to look at how our ancestors perceive that. Because now the offshoot of that is you just like your grandfather. Your grandma was good at math too. I must have skipped a generation because I don't know what was going on. I can't add 4 to the 4 squared plus 33 to the third power. But your grandma could tell you right away. You got that from your grandma. So that's why I named you Yetunde returns.
Yeah,
You
that's
see?
deep. I'm with you and Kosi said that's deep. It is, and well, even with you saying that, Baba, like I remember talking to my pops, and I never knew this, man. I found out she transitioned, but my grandmother was a hell of a ball player, and honestly, some people would think it was funny because she was really short. She was real short. Grandma was probably maybe low fives, like maybe 5'1", 5'2".
Well, look at Curry. He
Listen, listen. My pops was like, yo, he was like, your grandma was a problem on the court. I was like, get out of here. I'm serious. I believe him though, because humbly speaking, I still can get a little busy out there, man. I ain't taking off on people like I used to, but I still make it do what it do. But it's just funny to see how powerful genetics are. It is a real thing.
And that being a strand of our destiny. And then there's that unique element, like you mentioned about the raindrops, how it's all uniquely infinite. But where does the rain come from? The evaporation of the greater consciousness of which it was a part of forming. It's basically the same water being recycled for thousands and thousands of years. The water evaporates, turns to rain, comes back down. Evaporates, turns to rain, come back down. Consciousness, the same. You see? And when we get into our classes, we even start talking about how when that rain comes down, symbolic of consciousness, becomes stone, clay to stone. Those stones become the sacred ness of the Orisha. Stop it now. Okay. See?
And Kosi got a good question, man. He said, you see it?
Rumors share our fate and destiny with the Ajala. Yes, but in the same way that a parent would share the life of their child, to a degree, it can't be argued. I'm still my mother's son. I'm still my father's son. And no matter how old I get, and even after I pass on, I'm going to be the child of my parents, the grandchild of my great grandparents. So with Ajala and Orunmila, but see, Ajala and Orunmila are not together on this. Okay, it appears that one happens before the other in a different place. Okay, I would say as a teacher of IFA ISESE that destiny precedes fate. You understand? Destiny, ayanmo, comes prior to the moment of conception. A deeper and more vast knowing happened before that sperm and that egg hit to bring about the who we are.
Yeah.
Something was going on. And that's where the ayanmo happens. But then once that happens, okay, from somewhere else, Orunmila as the witness of fate again, okay, is there to say, now notice it doesn't say Orunmila is with Olodumare because everybody and everything is Olodumare, all right? But this whole Ajala and then Orunmila, let's just say fingers on a hand or two hands working together. Now you have to understand too, in Isese, we have Obatala in the mix because Obatala is forming the embryo from conception, you see. And now we start talking about the intermixture of all that happens in creation of life, not just human beings, but life, all forms of life. So whether they're there, again, they're going to always be there. But if we're thinking that they're there in a more physical sense, then I would have to say probably not. We wouldn't say that Ajala was with Obatala or even Orunmila was with Obatala. You see? All right. But we can get deeper into it in the classes that come up. But the beautiful thing about the podcast, Orisha, Gbemi, and I have an opportunity to lay down what the core of the teachings of the institution that's being built. They're going to rest on teachings.
Sure.
And not submission. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're going to rest on the greater possibilities. And it's going to come down to a Yanmo, destiny. Now, Babalawos have performed a birthing ceremony, if you will. Um, Christian folks call it christening and all of that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But we have our own system. I performed many back in the day. All right. Orisha Gbemi, you're killing me. And so we have a system called Ekushé, and that is when the child is born, okay, after a few days, whatever, the child is brought to the Babalawo, and this is all before Christianity and all that kind of stuff, and the diviner does dafa for the child to determine the destiny, not to make the destiny, but I should say to share what the destiny of the child is, not determine it. It's already determined. Okay. So when the Odu comes down, let's just say it's Ogunda Ed. All right. And then the Babalawo starts talking about Ogun and Yemoja, and the Babalawo starts talking about this is a warrior child, but it has to be taken care that they're not raised with too much lack of discipline, because you know what I mean, and starts reading it off and say it's the destiny of this child to become a chieftain. You understand? So the destiny is a part of the divination, but the destiny has already been made with Ajala. And Orunmila comes in terms of, all right, well, here are the endless possibilities. And that's why you got to keep coming and getting periodic divinations, or checking yourself to make sure that you are in alignment, itete, ITETE, in alignment with your Ipomrin, the inner you that houses your destiny and the possibilities of you not only fulfilling them, but growing even beyond them. See, now we are separated from that because who wants somebody to be that powerful? Who wants somebody to be so knowledgeable of themselves that they become a power unto themselves and achieve the unachievable? Did I ever think I could sit down and write 8, 10 books? No. Caught up in the world, caught up into everything that was laid down before me in terms of self-destructive tendencies. And it was truly IFA that led me to know that there is a saving grace. And okay, ultimately that saving grace is me. But I have to go through those stages. I have to go through those challenges and changes in order to grow. Because the road that we're on is not the road that we may have built it due to the harsh conditions of enslavement, but it's not. It ain't leading to where we came from, nor where we going.
Right.
You see. So this is where fate and destiny come to us. Now, I'm just gonna tap into Orisha, and then I'll sit back for a minute.
Okay, we got a couple questions too, Baba. But you in the
Oh.
zone, man. Keep putting them shots up, man.
All right.
Absolutely.
So we have fate, we have destiny, in whatever order we want to put them. They know what they know. Okay, they do what they do. Now we have the Orisha, our divinities, our deities, like every other people on the planet, going back further than 10,000 years. Okay, we can trace our lineage back as West African bloodline back to at least 10,000 years. Archaeologically speaking, anthropologically speaking, DNA speaking. So this is not, some, kind of get the people all riled up behind something fanciful. No, I'm speaking from empirical data. Now, when we take that into account, all of what our ancestors have seen over millennium, over thousands and thousands of years, and they start to put into some kind of understanding that perhaps there is a force behind our existence. And those forces of nature that's happening out there all around us, seemingly are happening inside of us as well. You know, even the moon and our women. We can't help but not notice that. We can't help not to see that there's a link between the nature of us and the nature of nature.
Baba, real quick, can you tap into that just for because no disrespect, because I know we got some very intelligent, wise, supernatural listeners, but some people may not know the significance of what you just shared in relation to the women and the moon. So can you share just a little bit about that, the numerical aspects and the counting and the that you dropped the mic on them again. So
I'm gonna save that to class.
Okay.
Because and especially with the queens out there, because in the class, however direction they want to go with that is fine. But I, as adults, I don't think any of us can say, oh well, they did. Oh, I didn't know there was a correlation between the cycle of the moon and the women's menstrual cycle, and then how does that relate to creation? No menstrual cycle, no babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So now, how does that all tie into our existence? No sunlight, no plants. Now, we need light. We're more plant than animal. Some people would argue that there's a whole photosynthesis going on inside of us as well. And we obviously need water. We're more than 70% water.
Mm.
So you see, it doesn't become so fanciful to think that our human ancestors from the African would take notice of these things and start symbolizing and start seeing that certain people seem to have a little bit more of a grip on this than others, and we need to listen to them, and we need to feel them, and we need to honor them, we need to reference them, we need to embrace them, and then next thing you know, we're deifying them and they become Orishas. But every one of us right here, right now on this program has Orisha, and we are striving through our fate, and dare I say through our destiny, to become Orishas. And that is the fulfillment of our life endeavors. You don't have to be knelt down to. You don't have to have people, other than reverence to a cultural positioning. Elders to children. Your children don't speak to elders in a certain way. You know what I mean? There's certain Fori ballets and all of that. That understood. But you can become an Orisha and nobody even knows it. It's all in your work. It's all in the good that you bring to the world. It's all in the possibilities that you bring about in the lives of others as you tap into their fate and learn what their destiny is. You start to see them, especially when we look at each other. We see more than what the Eurocentric enslavement and oppressive glasses force us to see. You understand? And that becomes one of the greatest of reasons to be involved in IFA, is to live up to our possibilities and bring goodness to our world and our generations. What we're doing here today should last at least 7 generations. I shared that with my students today. I told I had them working out a black defender, man.
Get out of here. Listen. Look, we look, we're getting it in this week, matter of fact. I think we locked in for Thursday, but
my people, this is not an aside, but see, when you start thinking about now, here it is, Black High School, middle of Newark, okay? Tough school, but I'm tougher, Get in there, walk your high school, you're going to get it right. Turned on to Black Defender by Baba.
Dr. Washington, man. Dr. Washington going to be through these ISESE streets soon, man. Shout out to him, too.
I ran off a couple of pages, had the students read. and I share with them, okay, now you'll continue the story. You know, you read it, you know, we're into it. They get to see Black people in literature. I have students in seniors, freshmen in college, who don't see Black people in English literature classes.
Wow.
In any of the books. And if so, very, again, villainous or subservient, okay? Servant. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And you wonder why none of us want to read, and none of us want to, you know, get into literature, which we are the inventors of.
Right. That part.
So I was sharing it with them, you kind of kicking it, and I'm letting them group up, and they're talking the possibilities of where this story could go. I'm tying it to the possibilities of where your story can go, you see? But you have to learn to be the writer of your story and not the follower of somebody else's script. We are not taught that of this, at least my
the system. No, of course not.
And to close off with the generational thing, I told him, I said, look, you're going to remember these days. You don't think about remembering the days. I think about remembering the days, but I can remember when I was a freshman in college, and I can remember why I dropped out, but I can also remember why I came back and what I came back with. I remember being in high school, okay? But nobody talked to me about who I was in the future, remembering who I am in the present. Follow me? And the possibilities that I could have reached for, because nobody paid attention to my destiny. And because we're into IFA ISESE like we are, we start to look at the younger generations, and we see not just their potential to be a this or a that, but we see the possibilities. We see their destiny. Oh, this was really good at that. I'll tell you the sister who got the Ankh and didn't, the sister didn't even know what an Ankh was. I just ordered it. I thought it looked good. I said, girl, you need to know.
That ancestral spirit was on.
That's right. So here we have, when we involve ourselves, we're just not doing it for quote unquote religious purposes. That's Eurocentric. That doesn't build us as a people. That doesn't strengthen us as a people from the core. Now, granted, there's a whole lot of Black Christians and Black Muslims, and they're all semi-famous. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Right. I got everything to do with this. What are we and IFA ISESE going to do?
Not sure.
And what I'm teaching is that we're going to change our world in the future. But we can't change the world in the future if we're not changing the world in the present.
Facts. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So this is again where all of this teaching comes from. Now, the Orisha come into play again, because now we have the destiny part. Now we're looking at the Orisha and saying, okay, well, okay, there's certain things we have to watch for, and these divinities require this and that. We got the sacred numbers, 7, we got the colors. So if we want to put these around the child, we want to bring forth their natural
essence.
Thank you. We want to bring forth the nature in them. I'm not overly concerned about how well they dance the Orisha, to be honest with you. I'm not overly concerned about how well they do anything. But I am overly concerned with is how they're growing inside.
Bye-bye, real quick. I got one question. It's a great question, Brother Nasir came through again. No. But I only want to ask it because this question is related to like destiny before we transition officially to the Orisha. But something funny happened over the last couple of days that what you just said triggered something in me. That's what made me want to share the snippet real quick. So it was a dude. I don't know if he was a person or a troll, but they stopped by the channel, was talking greasy under the Professor Small interview.
Professor Small.
Talking about he a MAGA up in here. Like, bro. I said, well, just FYI, I don't care about neither one of them damn candidates. Just to be honest with you, okay? Because I don't know where he was going with it.
Yeah,
it wasn't worth it. But I
didn't get that from the interview. What's wrong with the boy?
Sometimes I delete them. Sometimes I got time today, and I'm gonna get. But anyway, He was just talking greasy, but it was funny to me. I'm like, man, I don't give a damn about neither one of them candidates for real. So I don't know what you're trying to prove, because at the end of the day, neither one of them, I don't really see them doing anything for me or my people, period. So if anything, we gonna do it for our damn selves. So what you talking about, you ain't even in the right category. You ain't even in the right damn solar system, what you talking about. So, miss us with that BS. But anywho, it was just funny when you said what you just said, triggered something to remind me of that. But brother, he got a good question before we get into the deities in regards to destiny. So he said, Baba, can you explain why some of us may have chosen a bad destiny, and are there certain things that can't be altered in our destiny? I figured that would, that's
That's who that Baba Kunz, Bro Kunz. Okay. As fate would have it, there are endless possibilities in that regard as well. Let's look at it from genetics. You know, if the grandparents were eating certain foods, consuming certain foods, or drugs, or alcohol, you understand? Then that child born is going to suffer from that. You understand? And it will impact their consciousness, predestined, and then it's kind of hard to say it, but yes, their destiny as well. Now, I only cite those cases because it's more clear that women and men folk bring forth a child, but both of them are on drugs. Let's just say heroin. Back when I started teaching in it was during the crack era, and I had to deal with a lot of up and coming crack babies. That's what they were called. This was during the 80s, yo. This was during the 80s. Okay. And I'm right in there off of Martin Luther King Boulevard, Prince Street. You know, it was down, they were deep. And that you had these young kids coming in and cursing out teachers. And I'm like, what grade is he in? Oh, he in kindergarten. Okay.
They're doing it too.
Literally. And dead serious about everything he's saying and everything, and the mannerism, coming in with Tim's and say, okay, now the whole point I'm trying to make, Broken to, is that there are factors, for lack of a better word, my brother, contaminate the water.
Yeah.
You know, just like you can have acid rain, or what's it called? Pollution rain, or
acid rain. I think there's something else they call it too, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Or whatever, you know, the same way a consciousness can be. And then you have a difference now between Ori Ire, because it's that Ori that's being woven under the dialogue with Ajala. Ajala is not making the consciousness, just conversing with it, if you can see what I'm saying. So you have Ori Ire. Okay, everything's cool. This child going to be born, going to be Stevie Wonder. You understand? So you got all of whatever came from. Forget history and slavery and all of that. That's just the heavy hand of history. The consciousness is going to be there. But then you have a situation, as stated, just for obvious discussion right now, where we have now Ori Buruku. Buruku, and that is something's wrong. The child's going to be born with, you know, an impairment, you see, and that impairment can be obvious, brain damage, or it can be something that keeps coming, hot-headed, temperamental. Oh, you're just like your daddy. You know what I mean? Da 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 da, flying off the handle every time. You need to learn how to settle down. But I can't. This is just the way I am. You understand what I'm saying? So that's that child state. Now, if having visited a Babalao, and the Babalao, all right, we're gonna check on, you know, the destiny of the child, and they say, you know, we got a situation here, and it seemed like either the child was needing to outlive being dead. The child is coming back like a Malomo, okay? And this cycle. So now we have to put bells in the home. We have to do things to offset the Ori Buruku, We have to do things to offset this hot temperedness because there are certain entities that came with that contamination, and we're gonna have to try to neutralize it, detoxify it, and that becomes medicine, that dafa, for hopefully the salvation of the child and all who are involved. Now, just like any other medicinal directive, sometimes it works, hopefully most of the time, and then sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. But we have to strive to be our healers. Okay. All right. Again, other areas we can, we'll get to through time. But just to give you Bro Kunsu, okay, I see you got the fire lit over there. So hopefully I answered your question to the point where we can at least open the dialogue about it. Ori Ire, less contamination, more clear than not. And then Ori Buruku, there's an impairment. There's something wrong. And now via divination or just wise elders who will put into motion certain detoxifying and strengthening of the positive to outweigh the negative. Okay, brother.
Benny.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Now we got another question too, Baba. I know time's getting close on us, but we got another question. This might be a new tribe member as well, or just new to the live stream. I don't recall seeing this name, but Lafayette Mermaid, the Harmonist. Appreciate you joining the family and the tribe. And if you're not new, we appreciate you coming back through. But her question is, Baba, children under 4, do they need to receive Dafa or Egbe reading or divination when they are displaying signs of some sort of Osogbo?
I would say yes, based on the whole what we call stepping into the world. The child is not even that old. It's like when again a weak comparative, but we know people take their kids to get Christian at a very early age. Okay. Now, just a little side note about the whole Christian thing. I was for a loop, as one would say, and I tried not to throw that loop back when I discovered that part of that whole Christianing prayer, there's a line in there that says, drive the Moorish out of the child. I'm like, dang, they went deep. Because remember when all this Christianity thing was coming up, 1400s, the late 1400s, the Moors were still ruling Spain. And so part of the christening was to get the Moorish out, as if that Moorish part was the Osogbo. And now they were washed in Christ. And even if they were from a mixed couple, so to speak, or the child of a noble, but the mother was a slave or whatever, they would still go through this process. But the erasure of the Moorish influence is basically what it was all about. Now, even they got Catholic Church over there where if you're melanated, you got to go through the side door. You can't go through the front to go into the cathedral. Seville and all them places, don't let nobody fool you. These people, they ain't right. So if the child is displaying some form of a Sogbo mermaid, yes. And when I was doing more divinations and more ceremonial things, people would bring their young ones if they were displaying signs. Okay. Yeah. And then what we would do, myself and the inner circle, we would create certain ways to assist in the process. Okay. Like never do a blood, an ebo ejay, with children around. Trust me, not good. Okay. But there are other things, other ways to cleanse, even self, even home, even people who come into contact with the child. There's so many things to be taken into consideration, but divination will help to ascertain that. And if not divination proper, consultation with an elder who's raised a couple of kids, you know what I mean? And kind of knows how to deal with it. All right. So, Sister Mermaid, hopefully that answers your question. Break it down. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was a phenomenal question. All the questions were great tonight. Everybody had some Very, 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 very interesting, intelligent questions that I think a lot of people think and may not know, where to go and who to ask to get the answers and the insights to. So I
Yeah.
appreciate all y'all who do, share the questions, because that's what we do it for. We want to know how we can add value. How can we increase the frequency? How can we elevate and increase the ashe? Everything is all about going up, going further, and expanding out farther. You know what I mean? So yeah, we appreciate it, family, for sure.
All right. Is Oshun still there? Check and see if that Aberration is still up.
Which one was it, Baba?
Oshun Adeola Karade.
Let me see. I saw some. I see the Karade Nation definitely up in here for sure.
All right, Karade people. I don't ever want you to think I don't see you.
Oh yeah, she in here. Well, I don't know if she's still here, but she definitely been in here.
Okay.
Oshun, if you here, Baba, you had something for her, Baba?
Just giving that all Karades a shout out, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you got about 4 of them in here at least.
Right.
You got her in here. I saw Fokolade. I saw Isa. I think Ifa Sagun. Yeah, the man, the nation definitely in here for sure.
Yeah,
They in the building.
we represent.
Yeah, man, they in the building. We all in the building for sure, sir. But yeah, so let me see. Y'all got any more questions, family? Let us know. Oh, so here we go. Yeah, they here.
All right, I'm here, Bob. Okay, what you need, just get shit out. All right, but well, we're all one. We're like the Great Wall of Benin. Within the Great Wall of Benin, they had separate cities, but they weren't separate. They were all networked together. Okay, so you had folks over there doing what they do, and you had folks over there doing what they do, but it was all connected, and it was all protected by the Iya. That's what they called the Great Wall of Benin from our ancestral point. They called that Great Wall Iya, and we all know Iya is his mother.
Yeah, that's dope.
It's, oh man, it's powerful, and that started. They say they started the wall like 800 A.D. and it lasted all the way up to almost the 1900s. If it wasn't freaking British, it'd probably still be there right there today. I'm trying to imagine not only how much manpower it went in and women power it went in to building it, but how much and how badly those British people wanted to tear that largest man-made structure down. How much effort and expense they went to make sure that the world never saw the majesty and the magnificence of we as an African people in general, as a West African people specifically. But the truth, the phoenix, will always continue to rise again.
Yes, sir.
So we Karade Nation. Yeah.
Already, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we have the divinities, and I spoke of Ogun, I spoke of Yemanjan, of course, Oshun, and there's 400, as they say, 400 plus one divinities. And that plus one leads to the infinite, and then that stated the infinite of beings of light, of which the Orisha are but a part of. And when we're talking about coming through the Lukumi and Santeria, where it's the 7 major Orisha, and then you have offsets like Ochosi is not part of the 7 major. You know what I mean? But it's a number that's pretty finite. But in our minds, the number is infinite. We're only privy to what we could hold on to via our Ma'afa, our Holocaust. But now that we be free now, we can expand our consciousness inner, outer, okay, to recognize and realize that there are so many more. And in part, like grains of sand on a beach, we're part of that. Every last one of us is a part of that Orisha Ori constitution. There's no denying that. How can we? As I stated in the early podcast, we're not part of nature. Yo, we are nature.
Yeah, them natures.
And we be free enough to understand that and then go and tap into that and become more than the sons and daughters of the enslaved. Man, get out of here with that. Everybody on the daggone planet is the son and daughter of the enslaved. White folks were enslaving white folks, and it's like Come on, talk to somebody who you already made stupid. Okay. But for those of us who have knowledge, we know that yeah, full of it all the way up to all the way up to here.
Miss us with that bullish.
Yeah, come on. All right.
Yes,
You're
sir.
talking to no child.
Man, listen.
So all of those beings of light, and I'm gonna say this, are called Irunmole. Irunmole. They're the beings of light,
Not sure.
of which the Orisha are part. And we're all in this universe. There's different stars and types of stars. There's planets. There's asteroids. There's everything is going on, and everything is going on inside of us right now. That cannot be denied. And some of it is not so good. If we let the parasites in our bodies take over, let certain germs and viruses take over, then we're going to die.
Yeah.
But on the other end, if we let good nutrition, good sunshine, good exercise, good conversation, if we let that in, then we're going to be nurturing self and of self and to others.
I sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But IFA ISESE gives us the capability of realizing our capacity. And within that capacity, we see our fate, our destiny, and we see our Orishas as lined up with the chakras and as embracing of the nature of we as nature, with nature.
Every time you say "We Are One" by all I can hear is Frankie Beverly and Mays. We are one. I want to play the song, but I don't want to get hit with the copyright flag. But yeah, they every time you said that, I could hear that Frankie Beverly and Mays song. We are one.
Okay, then go on, sing your song, brother. Sing your song.
Ancestor, man. Nah, listen, look, my boy's already acting a fool. I don't want to make the tribe mad with these pipes, man, trying to sing something. So I'll stick to the speaking. I might drop a freestyle or two here and there. That probably work a little better.
All right, but I think we touched, Ipin, Fate, Ayanmo, Destiny, and Orisha, and Irunmole as the deities. All right. And there's so much more to it, but we're encouraging people to take the classes. We just can't get that deep. And in the classes, Orisha Gbemi, Baba came up with something nice. You could show the pages of a book, and we're actually doing the book.
Oh, they ain't seen nothing yet, man. Listen, because I do this, humbly speaking, but I've been doing this, presenting that type of work for a while now, from elementary school to college level. I've been doing it, so it's like just putting together what we want to share. But yeah, I'm gonna really put some things together for sure. I look forward to it, and family, because I see that some of them were interested in this extraterrestrial metaphysical stuff. I'm gonna definitely start dropping some of them jewels on here, because that's my lane. I can go with that for sure. I can run a few marathons. We'll talk about that kind of stuff, because I've been in it for a minute.
Wouldn't you? Would you consider doing a class on it?
Hold on, Baba. I was trying to get to that too. Look, I wrote a book about it, man. I ain't playing like the children's book. Starseeds, the children of the ancients, man. Shout out to one of the Karade Nation. This is literally my last one. I wasn't like procrastinating with you, bro. I gotta place another order to get some more in stock, but I do have this last one that I can send out, as well as I'm working on getting the websites crossed over from one platform to the next. So I'll have all the books and the Ashe t-shirts. We got a lot coming, man. We got a lot coming for y'all. My spirit came to me last night and gave me a dope acronym for a t-shirt for the word dope, because I know, matter of fact, shout out to Baba Ogun Tolu.
Man, go.
Listen. Trust me, it's a dope acronym.
I know it's powerful.
I don't want people to be thinking I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Everyone in the 80s babies era, they know what we're talking about. But if you ain't an 80s baby, I don't know, they might not know.
What is it? You gonna tell us, or you just gonna keep talking around?
I'd rather just rock it on the I don't want somebody to mess around and be wearing the damn phrase.
But let me share this with you before I forget, because
yes, sir.
As they say, I got a bone to pick with you, brother.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no! I don't want that smoke. No.
No. It's a good bone.
I got you.
We picked it because we're gonna share.
I got you.
Okay? I was checking out the last podcast, the one on the meditation, I was looking, and all of a sudden, this picture come up of this like serene lake and shit. I was like, "What?" I had to rewind the tape and say, "No, he didn't." You know, he's sliding pictures into the edited podcast. You something else, bro. You got this, man. It was
Listen,
powerful too. It was like,
listen,
bam,
man.
talking about meditation and in a peaceful lake, peaceful
Listen.
state of mind.
We got some more coming for y'all, man. For real. Listen, and Baba, that's it goes back to, and I can't even take credit for that. So it goes back to, it takes a team, it takes a tribe, it takes, what I'm saying, like nobody could do anything by themselves. So we're at the point now where we're growing. So I had to outsource, I had to hire help. There's no way I could do all this myself. Not to mention that's not what I do anyway. So I'd rather hire somebody who does that for real, to really make it right. But yeah, shout out to our new teammate, man. I'm holler at him tomorrow, give him his flowers, let him know, that his work is definitely, actually, I gave him his flowers today because I'm impressed. He's delivered a few of the shows that haven't been uploaded yet that I'm like, okay, yeah, bro, yeah, I like what he's doing. So he's going to take it to another level with that for sure. Because that's
I'm going to give you flowers anyway, because if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have hired him to do, and he wouldn't do what, would be approved by you.
Yeah, that's true.
So that part of the chain starts with you.
That's it.
I take it. Too. You get flowers too. So go on and take them and be all right.
Yeah, I take it. Look, I take it, man. I appreciate it. I didn't used to know how to take them, but I'm gonna take them now. I'm gonna take all of them too. But nah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's going up. He doing his thing.
Please share with them that, I peeped it and I liked it.
Yeah, and that's why I bring them back, because we get the chance to edit them and add different things. It's just it's a better experience for the viewers who weren't on the live stream. And so, because I know there's two distinct crowds. We have the live stream crowd. I should say three. I'm sorry, the live stream crowd. Then we got the regular episode watchers, and then we got hybrids. That's both like Nkosi and Queen, and you know what I mean. Several other the tribe that do everything. So. But with that, Baba, I'm gonna share this too because we got more questions. The classes already started. Oshun Niyi. We started the first one. Excuse me, the first one this past Sunday, I believe it was. And then we're going to be doing. We got more coming all the way to the end of the year, and then in the beginning of the year, January 2025. We haven't picked a specific date yet, but we'll be launching the actual institute in the beginning of 2025. But until then, we're going to be doing at least, I think, was it two classes per month, Baba? 2 to 3?
Yeah, yeah, 2.
I'm gonna throw some in there too, because this is so much that I want to share. So trust me, I rather over deliver and under promise. So we'll just say 2 per month, but we're gonna tighten y'all up. But yeah, we already started that, and I'm in the process of transitioning platforms with the memberships as well. So bear with me, family. My goal is to have that done by the weekend, because I'm trying to weigh the pros and the cons, because I already have a Patreon community, but we have people who have already signed up for the YouTube community. So I'm trying to figure out how I could do that to best fulfill and add the most value without it being inconvenient to anybody who joins. So I'm working on that right now. More than likely, I'm thinking Patreon I'll probably stick with, but I'll have it locked and loaded by the weekend for sure. And then we can kind of go from there. But we did start the classes, and if you want to join, you can join on the channel on the Ashe link. You can go to the link on the channel and subscribe. The one for the VIP is the one that we have the courses, and then the $5 one is the one that we have exclusive videos. We'll be having live streams with guests that we won't be able to necessarily air the live stream on YouTube, but we can have a private live stream. You guys can get the link, or I could do it on Patreon instead of. But we got a lot coming for y'all, and I got several powerful guests lined up. That's confirmed. We locking and loading. Me and Bob are gonna be here doing what we do. So we got the merch coming. We got the Ashe t-shirts, Scullies, beanies, hoodies. We got a lot going on. Baba got a whole funnel of books with like 8 books that he got in the Temple of Mr. Pab. Not to mention, we got all his work on Amazon, which we'll be sharing in the community as well. So we doing our thing, man. Not to mention, he got some more heat that he working on behind the scenes that I ain't gonna put him on blast like he do me. But
Mystic Path up so people can get it, man, so that they can start. Especially we got new people out there. They're looking for information on IFA ISESE.
Absolutely.
And my books are time honored, going back to the 90s.
Gotcha.
Talks and lecturing and all that. So Let's buy in. The funnel.
It's going to lead you to. Matter of fact, I don't know if I can share it on here or not, but it's going to lead you to Imoye, Elders Reflection 1 and 2, Temple. Not Temple. Imoye, Elder Reflections 1 and 2,
Place of Night,
Place of Nights,
Souls of Myrrh.
Souls of Myrrh.
Yeah. Elder Reflections, books 1 and 2. All right. And that's just through the funnel, good people. Now, the handbook and Ojise are via Amazon. And then we have Global Perspectives. Now, when you go to the funnel, you'll get PDFs. If you want hard copies, you got to go through Amazon.
And all the links will be in the show description too, family. They'll definitely be in the show description. So it takes a little while to get everything optimized. So it might not. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but definitely by tomorrow, all the links to Baba's website, the community, everything will be in the show description for the live stream and for the episode when that does get aired as well. So you'll definitely be able to check it out on the Temple of the Mystic Path, and then also. You'll see above, even if you look at the last 2 or 3 episodes that me and Baba did together, you'll see he'll have the link to Amazon for the handbook, the link to Amazon for OGC, and then he'll have the link to the Temple of the Mystic Path under that, and then also the link to join the Ashe community. So we'll definitely, make everything happen and get everything together for the tribe, man, so we can get ready to go into 2025, making it live. And, oh, and Nkosi, that's brother. Man, 100 is a phenomenal artist. I'll send you the link. Matter of fact, I'll put the link to his page in the description as well. But yeah, check out his work, man. Phenomenal artist. Actually, he's been on the podcast as well. I can't remember what number episode, but he definitely has been a guest on the pod as well, the brother 100. So yeah, check him out, man. Phenomenal. Nigerian born and raised artist. He definitely IFA ISESE, and his music, it definitely speaks to the soul for all of us who are in the tradition. I support him. I rock with him. From the first time I heard his music, I asked to get permission to be able to use it for the intro because I love it that much. I want to support him in any way, shape, form, or fashion that I could in regards to, hold on one second, Queen. I got you, Nkosi.
Hold on a minute. And it's spelled HONDREAD. Because some people look for it, they hear 100 and with the HU, and they're like, I can't find it, know. But it's HO, and he's on Facebook.
Yep, and Instagram.
All right.
Yep, yeah. So 100 or nothing. Shout out to 100 if he's listening and watching, man. Can't wait to get with him again. We're gonna be getting together in the near future as well.
Yes.
So
yes,
sir. So yeah, family, we definitely appreciate you all. Bye. We got some new members of the tribe saying they're gonna be signing up for the membership. Mr. Rodriguez. It's on the link. Matter of fact, let me send that link to y'all too real quick.
Now, are they clear the difference between membership and VIP? Because you can only get into classes if you're a VIP.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I know there was a little confusion about that last time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm working on the website now, Mr. Rodriguez, but I'll send you the link to the channel now if you wanted to sign up, and then I'll have it all ironed out in regards to the platform that we're going to be on permanently. But as of right now, we are already on the YouTube channel subscription. So I'm going to put that in there. And then, but definitely, family, I definitely appreciate all the love, the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the love that y'all show each other in the comments. I appreciate that because I be seeing that, like, that's dope. So I definitely appreciate all the, the love, support that y'all give to us as well as to each other. So, we appreciate you, and that's why we do what we do,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Queen, I see you. Yeah, I got to work it around my work schedule and my family schedule. That's the main thing. So sometimes it's difficult for me to know what the youngins got going on with their school schedules.
Did you say Queen? I have a question for Queen. Where you be, Queen?
Hold on.
The name of the ear that you stated, as far as the book club and speaking with,
can you share her name in the comments, Queen, so I can send it to Baba, please?
I'd like
Queen Poe. I think it was something like Queen Poe.
Yeah, but I want to make sure so I can make that contact, or Queen, any other way that contact can be made, so that that I can be there for the tribe down there. Now, is she on Facebook, Queen? How would I reach her or reach her? I'm assuming that she is the Ia of the Oloye that you're a part of. So I'd like to send her a letter of introduction and state what's available. So can I contact her through Facebook, Queen?
She said she's on all. She said, hold on, Bubba, I'm about to put it. Okay. She said that she went live yesterday on the book, Juju author as well, and she said that they're ready and she's on all platforms.
All right, so I'll send word out by the end of the week and go ahead and make that connection. But that's another thing, dear people. You know, we willing to do Zoom meetings and on well, at least for me, online conferences and lectures. We are this. You know, the Ashe component, the Karade Nation component. We're here and we're vital.
So I said, yeah, yeah, and Kosi, I got you. I sent you a message in the chat as well, brother. I appreciate you, and I definitely look forward to getting that to her. And I got some more in the bag as well that's going to be coming along with that project in the very near future. I was sharing something with Baba about it and got him all worked up into a tizzy the other day.
That's what we do, man. We just keep each other all right.
Yeah. But yeah, nah, hey, listen, family, I appreciate y'all, man. So we got to get ready to roll out. But yeah, like I said, by the weekend, I should have everything set up with the memberships, the websites, everything, the merch, the books, everything. And then Baba stuff's already set up, ready to rock and roll. So y'all can get any of his work online and it'll be in the show description. And then also, we got a lot coming for y'all. So I look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. We haven't locked it in yet, but we'll definitely have something else coming. And then y'all please stay tuned to the channel because there's still several more videos that we already got in the oven that I'm ready to pull out and upload over the next couple of days as well. And then, of course, me and Baba will be locking in another live stream as soon as we can lock in our schedule. So we definitely appreciate y'all. We appreciate all the love and support. Shout out to all the new Ashe Tribe members who stopped through. That's another one I'm working on too, an Ashe Tribe t-shirt as well, family. So we can, rep together, whether we together in person or virtually, we still can make it happen and make it do what it do. But I appreciate all the new people who stopped by, the new tribe members who came in and the ones who made themselves known and asked great questions and showed love and shared light. So we appreciate it. That's what we do it for. Yeah, much love and much appreciation. Bye-bye. You got anything for the tribe on the way out?
Yeah, I got one thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Deliver the word. Deliver the word. Deliver the word. Okay. And we can't grow without the rain. Okay. So be the rain, and let's move forward, as an egg bag, and to say, come on now, all right. I know people who kind of, they on the fence, or I know people that they ask the question, okay, or maybe invite them to the next live podcast. Maybe get them to look at the books, get them to see the Ashe products, get it moving. A movement can't happen if everybody's standing still.
Or don't want to see the other members of the movement win. That's another thing. We ain't doing that right.
I can't even.
Yeah, we ain't even gonna go into all that. But it made me think of something else too, Baba. For anybody in the tribe who might be interested in becoming an author, becoming a content creator, becoming a YouTuber, a podcaster, etc., I got classes and courses coming for that too. And this is what I do. I love doing it, and I got some heat. So if anybody out there in our tribe that is interested in either writing books or creating podcasts, YouTube, etc., that's a whole nother situation that we're going to be rocking with. So that is something that's coming as well. And if you know somebody who's into content creation or writing the books or creating content or podcasting, YouTube, and I can work with them as well. But with that, man, I definitely look forward to making it do what it do. And of course, we love you too, brother. And shout out to the Karade Nation. We love y'all as well. And the whole Ashe Tribe, Ashe Nation, we love all y'all. We appreciate y'all. And yeah, we'll see y'all on the next one.
Just based on what you said, though, let me get this in. But now, I'm going out on a limb here, but I got good balance, Let's just say you have a young one, teen, who's not really making it as far as their classes, and specifically reading, and maybe not as motivated, maybe not reading on a level that they could if they just had a deeper representation. I'm a certified teacher, and I've been a professor post retirement from being a secondary school teacher, and I teach English. Okay, not as English, but as language arts. So I'd like to open up to the tribe tutorial classes. And I've done tutorial classes since the 80s, man. You know what I mean? And when COVID hit, I was doing them via Zoom. The schools may have shut down on the physical, but the students were still getting lessons with those of us who could manage the technology. So I want to impress upon all of you. You could be there, right there on the Zoom with your child, but getting our young ones to accumulate knowledge about self, being indoctrinated or made less than, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, I just want to put that out there as thought for food.
Thought for food. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it do what it do. Yes, sir. Shout out to Regina M. Smith, like a new tribe member as well. Appreciate you stopping through and joining us. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Look, we're gonna be doing it again in the very near future, tribe. So definitely appreciate, like I said, once and for the last time now, the love, the support, the guidance. Okay, yeah, we got the tribes, they want that these services, man. So we got a lot in store for y'all. We really do, a whole lot. Even to, man, Baba could tell you, helping people build out your whole, whether you're even designing your ebooks and your platform, sales funnels, all that. We got a lot in store. So we're going to do it, with the shape, but we also going to do it with education and business as well, because we need all hands on deck to create this shift in this movement. So each one, united we stand, divided we fall. And last but not least, I am because we are, I am. And so we appreciate that, ladies and gents, for sure. Kings and queens. Yes. Bye-byes. Yes, sir. All right, family. So yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one. I appreciate all the love and support. And don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe. And we are out.
Ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo sí ẹni gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́. Forsake not your ancestors and praise your